Hey, welcome back. This is our third video from Unit 3. We're going to switch gears a bit. We last two previous videos from this unit have dealt with trade discounts. So we're going to look at a second kind of discount in this particular video, and we'll continue as we wrap up Unit 3 with our fourth video to go. So with no further ado, let's open this PowerPoint and share. This will be a fairly short video, I do believe, but let's go ahead and do it. All right, from there. Okay, so we're going to talk about cash discounts. So in this particular position, put yourself in the position of the buyer. All right, so you've placed an order with your supplier, and the deal here is if you pay promptly, you may be eligible for a discount on the purchase. And it's generally not a gigantic discount, might be 2%, might be 1%. But when you're talking about profits, sometimes those margins are pretty small. So any little dollar figure can be helpful. Um, they're not taking on freight. They're not taking on return goods. It's just on merchandise that you're purchasing. So the incentive is if you're a prompt payer, you can benefit from that promptness by getting some bucks knocked off your price. All right. So some examples for us to look at. One thing that's going to come up here for us in terms of moving forward is the knowledge about how many days are in particular months. Your author says he's an advocate of a days in the year calendar chart kind of thing. I think it's just as easy to use your knowledge, and we'll play the old 30 days has September game if we need to. Okay, so this is this is the reference from Dell. If you want to look at his days in a year calendar, you can find it. It's in your textbook. It's page 293. You've all heard the little song 30 Days Has September, so I put in a little blue text box here for you. Some of you have seen the knuckle trick, and I don't know what you can see here with my screen going on, but I'll pretend you can see this. And basically, you make a fist and you start by pointing at your first knuckle, and then you just state a month as you go across. So you say January, February is the valley between the two knuckles, and you just continue. So it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Hit that one again for August. Okay, and then come back across. And the way this plays is any knuckle month has 31 days, and the valley months have 30 days, except for February that has 27 or 28 or 29. Okay, so there are three separate types of things we'll consider as it relates to these particular discounts. One based on ordinary date, one based on when the goods are received, and one based on an end of the month. And you can see the abbreviations for the last two. No big mystery for ROG for receipt of goods and EOM for end of month. And those two will be looked at in the fourth video for this unit. This video just deals with ordinary dating. So here's your first set. And those of you saying, well, I don't know what that means. Well, it means this. If you make payment within the first 10 days of receipt of this particular invoice, you are able to take a 2% discount. And if you can't do it within the 10 days, the whole discount, the whole amount of the receipt is due, the net is due within 30 days. So prompt payers can save 2% if they can get the money out within the first 10 days of receipt of invoice. And then everybody's subject to paying the full invoice amount within that 30-day window. Okay, again, no freight discounts, no return goods discounts, no sales tax discounts, just the merchandise. All right, here's the second example, and you see this one's got a three-component look. Same action, 2% if you pay within the first 10 days. All right, if you pay between day 11 and day 15, you get 1%. And then if you can't make it within that first 15-day window, the full amount is again due within 30 days of receipt of the invoice. So it can be a multiple prong attack based on how prompt your payment can be. Same thing as before, no discounts for freight, no discounts for return goods, no discounts for sales tax, just on the merch. All right, we're going to take a look at an example. You got a $650 invoice and it's dated June 3rd. All right, the terms are 210 net 30. There is no freight charge for us to consider. And we're going to make payment on June 12th. Okay, so the date on the invoice is the 3rd, and we're prompting a payment on the 12th. First question, at what date do we end our discount period? All right, and in effect, if we're going to snag that 2%, we can wait till what day on the calendar? Well, if you see up there, it's 10 days. Well, 10 days from June 3rd should take us to June 13th. So when dear old Dell clicks the slide, I'm going to guess it says 13 of June. Look at that. It's almost like I built a PowerPoint. Okay. So the way the 10 plays, the 3rd doesn't count as one of the days. You add 10 onto it, and the 13th does count as day 10. Second question. On what date does the credit period end? Well, okay, supposing we could not make payment within the first 10 days that would have enabled us to take a 2% discount, we are on the hook for that cash by day 30. So now here you're going to be careful. You need to know how many days are in June. We know that if we go 30, we're going to carry into July, but depending upon how many days there are in June, it's a little sneaky to say, you know what? It's going to be July 3rd. Maybe. Depends on the month set. So before you get too hasty, let's tear that apart. All right, so it turns out in this problem, it is going to be July 3rd. But if you look to the right side there, 27 of those 30 days got us through the end of June. And then the next 3 of those 30 days carry into the next month, which in this case is July. So the payment is due by July 3rd. That would be the 30th day after the invoice that was dated June 3rd. All right, if we make payment on the 12th, we should notice up there that we are paying within the discount period. That ended on the 13th. So we are able to take the 2% discount. So you're going to take the $650 invoice and you're going to find out what 2% of it is. And that turns out to be $13. That's just 2% at $650. So you and I are going to save a little bit. We won't have to spend $650 for that merchandise. We will get it for $637, which is what you get if you take the 13 and subtract it away from $650. If you simply wanted $637 in a one-shot deal, you could have used that complement idea that we met on the last video and simply multiplied $650 by 0.98, and that would have led you directly to $637. So it's a one-shot example. All right, you got 2/10n/30. And that ends video 3. Short one. We will be back with one more video to wrap up unit 3. We'll see you then.